I'm eager to give you some perspective on our plans and intentions as a church. And before I show you a map to give you a better idea of some of the specifics, in a more general sense, I want to give you this sort of premise for how we're proceeding as a church. In general, we want it to be as congregated and as bold as we can be, while being as dispersed and careful as we need to be. This season calls for us to be creative and dynamic and flexible, and we are determined to be as wise as we can be, to position ourselves for success in the future, and to be good stewards of what we have while we seek the Lord's will and fulfill our mission of making more and better disciples for Jesus. I want to give you an idea of what our parish looks like, where we have been meeting since the pandemic began, and some of the places that we have considered in the time since then and are considering now. First, to give you an idea of our parish, you can see this gray area represents the rough dimensions of our parish. And I say rough because there are people who live outside of these boundaries who consider our church their church, either just outside or well outside in the case of people who live at a distance. But you can see here that we have people who would attend regularly from as far away as Ticonderoga and certainly in Shoreham, Whiting, Orwell, Sudbury area, up north on Route 7 almost to Middlebury, and then down through Brandon, Pittsford and Chittenden areas, and certainly Rutland, Mendon, as far south as Clarendon. And we also have people all the way over toward Castleton and points in between. In the time since the pandemic began, we have been creative about our use of space, and we have worshiped on occasion everywhere from the Fish's Garage in Pittsford to Proctor Gas, a tent behind my house in Proctor, many times the Proctor skating rink. We've worshiped on the top of Bald Peak in Pittsford, Barnard Funeral Home, and on one wonderful occasion we had outdoor worship at the Pittsford Rec when we baptized 8 lovely souls there. Now I want to give you an idea of some of the places where we have been looking to locate. You can see here that we have been open to looking as far south as just north of Rutland City. We wouldn't care to go much further than that, again out of consideration for those people who are coming from a distance in the north. And so we've looked at some commercial real estate at the north end of Rutland Town. We've looked at the former Jerry's Nissan and some other locations in Rutland Town. We've considered a number of locations in Proctor, and certainly just about everything that's available in Pittsford. In Chittenden, we've inquired about the use of the Grange Hall and Charlie Door's Music Hall, and we've considered a number of places in Brandon as well, including the Brandon Methodist Church. We've pursued a shared use agreement with them. And I show all this to you to give you an idea of the scope of our investigation and to suggest that if you have any ideas of anything within this area, we would be very eager to hear what you have to say. And some of these places are places that we've considered for purchase, and some of them have just been places that we have inquired about the use of on Sunday mornings, or perhaps for a short-term lease. Right now, honestly, the path forward looks a little unclear to us. We are not confident about how long this pandemic is going to last, what all of the effects will be on our local economy or us as a church. We are committed to physical worship, and we look forward to the day when that physical worship can be completely uninhibited. In the meantime, we're doing our best to find long-term and intermediate solutions. We have run into the problem of commercial real estate that's being offered, but at prices significantly above market value. And we're trying to be patient, but also to have a sense of urgency. If, like me, you are longing for the ability to return to a worship setting where you're surrounded by a throng of people of biblical value, I want to assure you that that's something that we, the leadership of Furnace Brook Wesleyan, are working toward. But I'm also going to beg you to be patient with us. Prayerful, but patient. And as you have ideas or suggestions or questions, offer them and ask them, because we are eager to get the benefit of your insight and your questions, and we're open to the possibility that God's answer for our congregation could come through the alertness and observations of people in our flock.